Hello, hello. I see nobody's in, so I'll wait a few minutes before we get started. Just gonna be looking at how QQQ moved um, on Friday and some of the things that we could have done. So I'm gonna go ahead and start drawing some of my stuff here. Excuse me. Hello to who has joined. You're the only one in so far, so if you have any questions, now would be a really good time to ask because you basically have the floor and I can go over whatever you need. So please feel free. I'm just kind of, didn't realize I was doing this. I'm just kind of adding in my little stuff for what I'm going to go over, how Friday went. Any questions? Any questions to my one viewer? I want to make sure that you're all good if you have any questions. All right. Well, let me just go ahead and get started then. Well, no, I'll give everybody a couple more minutes. It's only been 3 minutes. The VWAP and the 200 works on SPY, or you're just using QQ. It works on SPY just as well. I just personally play QQQ, but I mean, look, it works perfectly fine. I do use it on SPY sometimes as well. This is Friday with SPY, right? So Friday with SPY, here is your best candle to enter your calls. You probably would have been out on not this next candle, but the one right after. This would have probably been your exit, and then you could have done several things, right? You set this main channel over the course of the day, but here you would have seen, this is a flag, right? And you would have set your break, got in again, and then you're just kind of doing this for the rest of the day. So realistically, the first play is probably your best play for the day, and then you're just kind of wobbling up for the rest of the day. And my guess is that since this is a bear channel, right, we're going up for the drop. I think we're going to drop back to the 200 on Monday. That's just what it looks like to me. Does anyone have any questions about anything? So let me go over QQQ on Friday. I kind of have it all mapped out already. Some of your best entries. So this is your opening candle. Let's go ahead and close this out so you can see this better. Okay. So this is basically where you open. This candle I wouldn't have entered on quite yet because it was still too early. But this candle is a strong candle above VWAP. You enter your calls. Not this candle, but the next one is your exit. You could do it one of two ways, right? Either you get stopped out on the drop, but I personally wouldn't have gotten out on the touch just because it needed a second to pop down and then to go back up. So you're gonna exit around here probably after entering on this candle around here. You're gonna exit this candle around here, and then you start seeing this channel, right? And you don't ever enter puts because you're never under VWAP fully with the full candle. So this candle drops below VWAP, but you're also above it. This candle is also above and below, 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 right? So you see this happening, you set your bear or your bull flag channel, you start setting that, and when this bounces off fully above and is broken above your channel, you're going to enter your calls about right here. Okay. You could probably be out on the same candle, but any of these next three candles gives you an exit. Okay. Then here you're going to notice that there is another pennant formed, and you're just going to set your range. Also notice how here, so you have two opportunities within this pennant to do calls off of the VWAP bounce. And your VWAP bounce here, so once you bounce and this candle starts above right here, you could enter probably about here. You could even set your entry at above this candle and then be out, not on this candle, but this candle or this candle, right? And then again, you didn't get in any puts. You could have actually gotten in puts on this. So this is actually an inside candle. I didn't notice that before, but this forms an inside candle, right? So we got this and we got this. This one and this one form an inside candle. This technically goes just below, but you could say that that's still in the range. This candle is your break. Get in your puts, exit for VWAP, potential bounce, and there you go. Once you notice that this candle is above these two that are touching, right? You know that you've returned up. You already have this range set. So you're just waiting to break out the range. You break out here, get in calls again. You're good to go. You're already out here. And then look at this. You form another inside candle. You have a bunch of them in a row, signaling that whatever the next move is going to be huge. You break up, get in calls again, and then look at that. Another pennant forms, signaling calls. So on this break up, you get in calls. Oh. And you're good. And then within another pennant, and it looks like we broke just below it after hours, so we should more than likely go down, which looks like we're doing here. So yeah, that was QQQ for Friday. This is the 7-minute chart, but I mean the 5-minute chart is not going to look much different, right? So 5-minute chart is pretty similar. Just your inside candles might be in different spots on the 5-minute versus a 7-minute chart. Does anyone have any questions? The three of you in here. I went over Friday, right? So now what I want to talk about is what you can do long term during this time. So like, what's a good idea for a long term strategy right now? So, depending on how much money you have, right? Let's say I'll give a strategy for a $2,000 portfolio. I'll give a strategy for a $10,000 portfolio. Give a strategy for like a 25,000 portfolio, and then like 100,000 in it. Okay. So $2,000 portfolio. What I would do is first of all understand, what do you use a lot? What do you consistently use a lot of? So let's write this down, and I'll type it in the chat. So for me, that's going to be Amazon, Apple, Disney, because they come out with a lot of movies I like, right? I personally like, I'm on my computer and stuff all the time, so I'm gonna say AMD slash NVDA, right? Because those are semi-conductor chip companies, and they make a lot of things that make technology go, right? Let's see. What else am I using a lot of? I'm using, actually, despite everything going on, I'm actually using a lot of Twitter, right? Yep, Google. Let's see. Google, right? So, got Google. I need gas all the time, so let's say XLE, because it's an energy ETF basically, and let's just say those for now, right? So so these companies right here would be good ones to basically buy as many shares as you can, and ones that I would recommend highest, so top three are going to be Amazon, Google, and Apple. Okay, reasons why. So Amazon, everybody is going to continue to order stuff off Amazon. Instead of going to stores, instead of buying things, blah, 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 and Amazon's just taken over. It's going to continue to take over. It's not going to go anywhere. They have some issues internally sometimes, but after this split, right, the prices are perfect for a smaller portfolio to buy. Google's going to be having a split soon. So as a small portfolio, you can basically do the same thing with Amazon. Wait for the split, wait for it to get knocked down after the split, and then buy up shares, okay? And then Apple. So Apple is basically the strongest company in America, period, right? Biggest, strongest, you name it. It holds our market up for the most part. When Apple does good, our market does good. And Apple's going to continue to be a huge global player. And after this is all said and done, Apple will go up again. Amazon will go up again. Google will go up again. Like Disney should go up again. XLE should go up during this time. So this would be something that you could use short term to make money, right? And then funnel that money into QQQ or SPY, right? And your goal is to set yourself up for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. Your goal is to not necessarily get the perfect position, but buy up the ones that you like and that you see a lot of, like that you use a lot of personally, and you know that's going to weather the storm for the most part, like you're going to continue to use during the recession, right? And if you're going to continue to use it, then other millions of people will continue to use it, and it'll stay strong, right? Buy up those shares at perfect, say you have a goal, right? Like let's use Amazon for an example. So let's say I originally got some when the split happened around 125, right? And then I bought some more at 115, and then I bought some more at 110, and then I bought some more at 105 and at 100 when we hit 100, or just right before we hit 100, so that 101-ish area. I bought more there. And I set these goals, right? And I buy shares when I can at set targets. So every $5 to $10 that it drops, I'm buying shares. Apple, same thing, right? Every $5 to $10 that it drops, I want to buy some shares. And it's not about finding the bottom. It's just about getting a good position for 10 years from now, so that you can get, imagine having Amazon at $116, right? And in 20 years, when it's worth $2,000 shares again, $2,000 a share again, you have 20,000 shares, right? And that's because you were able to accumulate, 10,000 while it was $100 or $200, and then when it got up to $500-$600, over the next 10, 20 years, you just kind of bought shares here and there. But the big part that got you where you're at is buying the shares when everyone else was really scared and selling and all that stuff. So this is a recession or a market crash is a really good opportunity for you to buy shares of companies that you really like, that are good companies, okay? Other than that, you don't really want to just be buying stuff, right? You want to buy it in stuff that you like. Short term, right? This is what this is for, guys. This is what this is for. So you're going to use this to make your short term money, right? And then you're going to funnel this money into your long term plays. And that's how you're going to be successful. That's how you're going to end up being, in the end, successful. Does anyone have any questions? I see there's only like 2 people in here. If y'all aren't feeling it today, I'm cool to just cut it off. I don't want to waste y'all's time or anything like that. Especially if y'all don't have questions. I want to make sure you guys have questions. Because at this point, I'm just talking to myself. I went over the things that I wanted to go over already. They were pretty simple, so I want to make sure that y'all are good. In one of my previous videos, you mentioned the angle that the 9 crosses over the 21. Sure. So, 9-day is going to be the pink line, 21 is going to be the white. Okay? See this? So for me, you're going to want to use it on the bigger time frames. Okay? Like 13, 15 minute. I would do 13 or 15 minute. Okay? And so what you're looking for is, first of all, don't forget your 200-day EMA in your VWAP, right? Don't forget where those are. Don't forget what they're doing. But overall, your crosses are going to tell you so. 21 crossing above, your 9-day crossing above your 21-day EMA signals calls, while your 21-day above your 9, so your 9 crossing below your 21, signals puts. So, example, right? Here, your 9 crosses above, signaling calls, and then look at that, right? And we stay above signaling calls, right? When I said you want to wait for a certain angle I'm saying something like this. Like, you don't want to do it right when it crosses, and you don't want to do, like, this wouldn't be, why would you enter puts, right? Like, that's so weak. You want to see something like a decent angle come out. That's what you want to see. You want to see a decent separation in the two before you enter. And also remember, even if there is a separation that's decent, remember that these play an effect in your play. So in this scenario, you wouldn't have gotten in because it's basically just a lag of this that already has popped up. And you've already seen that, not to mention your 200-day EMA is here, so that's what you're seeing here. So this drop, like, you could have actually, say you entered, right? Say you entered your put here, right? You saw it at the cross, you entered, you would have been fucked, and all of a sudden you would have been super green, and you would have needed to sell immediately, or you would have been fucked again, right? So what I'm saying is you need to pay attention to not only the angle, but where your other stuff is as well. But your 9 and 21 day crosses are super good for like a beginner strategy as well. Like, you can use, my very first strategy was using the 9, 21, and 200 day EMA only, and using them, the 200 day, how I use it already, how I tell y'all, as a bounce and breakthrough zone, and then the 9 and 21 day as cross for calls and puts, right? So yeah, that was actually a very good question. You're very welcome. Does anyone else have any questions? I haven't used this strategy in a while, but it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. Anyone have any questions? Anything? Other things that you can do to be successful during this time is look into opening. Good question. Do I think QQQ is going to go to $300 before going down? Well, it's very possible, but this is what we call a rising wedge, and it kind of actually broke the rising wedge at the very end of after hours on Friday. So I'm going to just go out on a limb and say that we're going back down to the 200-day EMA, and then we could, yes, potentially bounce off the 200-day EMA back to around 300, and we could see 300 before we really drop again. But I can't really tell you. I mean, it's not impossible that we go up $4 or $5 before we drop again, right? I mean, that could happen pre-market. So, is there an advantage to using the alligator for that strategy, or we use default? You can use the default EMAs. I just use that because it's something I like. That's all. And what I was saying earlier, some other things that you can do to kind of like set yourself up for success later, I guess, would be like look into, instead of trading with like money that you need now, if you have a 401k, right? Look into reevaluating the stuff in your 401k into long-term positions that are on sale, right? That are going on sale. Like, make it a cash portfolio, right? Make your 401k or your IRA a cash position. Wait for some targets that you like and just buy them, because all right, let's look at this overall, right? So the year on QQQ is down, right? We're down on the year, but let's look at, and then 5 years, right? This looks scary. But then when you start looking at it ever, right? Every single dip that we've ever had, right? Up, 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 big dip, up, big dip. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go up, right? Like this is the equivalent of this. Equivalent of this. And if you really want to look at it, it's the equivalent of this, right? It's even worse, size-wise, right? But if you look at everything objectively, right? Like this is just an opportunity to buy, right? Like we should probably go, like if we're just looking at this chart and seeing where all these bounces go before they start going up, we should probably go somewhere like right here. It'd probably be like right there. Just under 250 or right at 250 and then start taking off. So that's kind of my idea, my goal or whatever, is to kind of just keep buying and using my like 401ks, IRAs, life insurance stuff, and just buying more and more as we're hitting these targets. Hey, what's going on? Any questions? But another thing to understand, guys, is like the Fed have not necessarily started QT yet. They're still in QE, and that's just not good. Like it's false movements up, right? Like because they haven't started tightening their sheets yet. They haven't started doing anything to their balance sheets yet. So that's not good. Trading was good. Trading was good last week. Trading was good. I've really just been setting myself up for the next drop for the most part. So like this, right? Let's look at this subjectively as well. Up, down, couple up, down, some up, down. We could go up to about right here. Yeah, we could hit the 300 mark. And the next day. So Monday could be green. Tuesday, what we call turnaround Tuesday, could be super red, which draws us out to here. Something like that. We could see something like a full $10 to $15 drop on Tuesday. So I'm just setting myself up. I'm ready for it. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm ready for the drop, because the more that we drop now, the faster that we can get these like hike rates out and everything just can start dying, the faster we can flip up and reverse back. And that's what we need. We need a quick, fast death for a nice recovery, strong recovery back up. I mean, some shit going on, but they're not doing everything that they need to do. So, and they're not doing it fast enough. That's the problem. Does anyone have any questions? There's only 4 of y'all in here, so to be honest with you, if y'all don't have any questions, I'm probably gonna hop off here in a minute. Gonna make some dinner or something. But I do want to answer your questions first. So if you have questions, ask them, all of them. I want to answer them all. Any questions? Yeah. All right. So this was recorded. The 30 minutes that we did go over and the stuff that I went over today was recorded. If y'all have any questions, just type them in the chat, and I'm happy to like record a little mini video and post it on YouTube for you. That's no problem. But I just don't want to waste anybody's time. There's only a few of y'all in here, and I'm not getting any questions, and I kind of already talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. So, yeah. If y'all don't have any questions, I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes to type, and if not, then I'm gonna do this. Oh, y'all are very welcome. I'm not upset or anything that not a bunch of people showed up. I just don't want y'all to just hear me ramble about nothing. That's all. I went over everything, and yeah. So it'll be posted like literally within probably 30 minutes to an hour. It just takes a little time to buffer and all that jazz, but I immediately go over and post it into the YouTube right after, so no worries about that. It will be on YouTube, and it is being recorded right now. And something someone asked me to go over like in my Discord group, and I might as well do it now. How do you make a plan for the week? Before I hop off, that's something I want to talk about. How do you make a plan for a week? So for me, making my plan for the week is doing this. Is saying, hey, look, what am I going to trade this week? What am I excited about? For me, always QQQ is at the top of that list. SPY is directly under. And then the next one is either going to be Tesla, one of the other Qs right here, or let's say AMD, Amazon. AMD is a very good one. I really like AMD because it's when it's moving in a direction, it moves in a direction. You see what I mean? Like I really do like AMD. But yeah, so something like that. Like so, I'll say, hey, look, I'll look at my stocks and I'll say, are there any obvious formations going on that I can see? And I'll say, yeah, and I'll try and map them out, take a look, say, hey, look, this looks like a channel, map it out, map my stuff out, right? So I'm expecting maybe a potential push up before we drop again. AMD, right? Like this is a classic flag, right? We even broke slightly out of it. I'm thinking we might push up. Or maybe we break down, right? But I'm ready for whichever happens. And so I'm just kind of looking. I'm going to see, does this next candle go up or do we break down? And whatever happens in pre-market on Monday is going to determine what I'm going to do. So I'll do stuff like this, basically. I'll go through, I'll say, am I seeing anything that looks like something needs to slow down or happen soon? Like this looks like it needs to slow down and drop soon, right? AMC, I don't like AMC a lot, but there was like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in buying on Friday, and if you look at the chart, I think it's like this. So the last time it ran to like 20 something bucks or 30 something bucks, right? This up here, it was doing the exact same. See, it was doing this, and that's exactly what it's doing before it pops. So I'm gonna say, y'all can check my I'm gonna put this on the recording so that we can check it later. I'm going to go out on a limb and say in the next few days, AMC is going to do something like this. And then die. So let me tell you this. The better solution isn't to bet on this. It's that once it does this, to bet on this. So once it does this, bet on this. Right? Don't try and get this. Get this. That's the better way to do it. And what do you mean you can't see my video after live? What does that mean? They're all on YouTube. I just want to make sure, like, did you not know that I had a YouTube, or are you just saying like you're not able to watch them, or? But yeah, so I think it's potential, very much something that's going to happen. We talked about this in our Discord group too, but so things like that. So I'll go over things like this, and this is kind of how I'll set my plan for the week. On top of saying like, okay, well, what are my financial goals for the week? Do I want to make X amount of dollars this week? Now let me split that into daily targets, or instead of I want to make X amount of dollars, I want to grow my portfolio X amount of percent. That requires me to grow it this much percent a day, and that's my goal, is to just grow it that much percent a day. If I hit my target, I'm done as soon as I hit my target. If I don't hit my target, then I'm kind of basically what I'd like to do is I say, hey, look, I'm either going to hit my target or I'm only going to make 3 trades today. That way I never overtrade, and I usually more often than not still stay green. Even if I don't hit my target, I'm still green. And if I don't hit my target and I'm red, at least I mitigated how much red I was going to get, because I kind of controlled myself and was disciplined and didn't do revenge trading and stuff like that. So that's how I will go about making a plan for the week, and just kind of making sure the hardest part isn't making the plan, having a strategy that works, your entry or your exit. The hardest part is being disciplined with your strategy, with your plan, and what you decide you're going to do. So if you decide my plan is take 5% on every single play that I'm in, and you see something hit 5% and you go, well, it's only $2, and you hold it for 20%, and then it goes to 7% and turns around on you, it's your fault, right? That's your fault because you didn't follow your rules. So 9 times out of 10, it is almost always our fault why we lose a trade. So if you make a plan and you actually really stick with it, you'll be in a good place. And I wanted to touch on that because someone did ask me about that, and I wanted to touch on that for them. So if nobody has any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and end this and upload to YouTube. And I'm up $20. Should I take my 25? Oh no, whatever. It'll go up. I know it will. It's gonna keep dropping. Now let's see. Why did I do that? Bounce. I wasn't paying attention to it during this stuff. This is while we were all talking, but yeah. All right. So remember this. you don't want to swing shares of SQQQ or TQQQ. You want to buy the shares, and they're day trade share options, right? So this is their TQQQ and SQQQ are for day trading for people with smaller portfolios that want to learn how to trade with less risk involved, right? So that you can understand how it works. So basically understanding how options work without actually trading options. So your TQQQ would be basically a call for QQQ, and SQQQ would be a put for QQQ, right? And you're just looking for like 0.5% to 2% on your play. But understand this, SQQQ and TQQQ are triple leverage, which means that SQQQ decays. It has time decay involved in its share price. So when you buy it like this and you swing it, it actually goes down in share price just from time decay. So I'm sure you didn't know that, and that's why you bought shares, so I wanted to let you know. But you want to only day trade those types of shares, or if you really have a conviction with a big move down, that's what you're going to do. So like this, right? Now I'm up $200. Close it. Just like that, up $200 and closed it, right? Y'all just saw it. It was at $0, up $200, closed it. So I actually think that you're good. I think that you'll be fine even with the time decay, because I think we're going to go down. Obviously, we're going down now with futures, so we should probably continue down. And I would say, Juan, just with the market that we're in right now, try to aim, and I know it's very little, but it will compound, 0.5% to 1%. If you do that, you'll be super consistent with it. And the goal isn't to make a bunch of money, really. It's more so to become consistent and then understand that you know what you're doing. And then once you understand that you see what you're seeing, you can start funneling, instead of buying shares of these, you can start buying options, right? In QQQ, like when you would buy SQQQ, you would buy QQQ puts, right? And then instead of 1%, you take 5%. And since you're super disciplined with 1%, that 5% is crazy good. And you're super happy and excited. And then that helps you stay disciplined and consistent. Because people's biggest problem with options is thinking that they need 20, 30, 40, 50, 100% on a play. You don't need that much. You need 5% consistently over and over and over and over again, or 10% over and over and over and over again. That's all you need. And almost always, if you have a good strategy with good setups that you know are consistent, if you take those setups and you just set your sell order for 5 or 10%, you'll win probably almost every time. The human error is what's going to get you. So this is why I try and preach to y'all that to start off with, and you're doing it the right way, starting off with TQQQ and SQQQ. You should start off with shares in TQQQ and SQQQ, day trading them for just 0.5% to maybe upwards of 2%, but realistically just 1%, and just get it repeatedly over and over and be consistent. And when you see, hey, I've done this over and over for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, a whole month or whatever, now let me try one options contract in QQQ instead. And then you're like, oh shit, it went up 10% in 5 seconds. And I made 10%. That's crazy. That's awesome. You'll be good. Stop loss, I would recommend about 10%, 10 to 15%. If you have a good, consistent strategy. So this is why I say 15%. For me, what I've noticed is a play, when you enter, you might not have the absolute best entry, but you have the strategy down in the sense that it is going to do what you think it's going to do, just your entry might not have been the best. So something could turn against you for just a split second, and 5% in an options contract is not, it's quick. It's very, very, very quick. And so what I'm trying to get you guys used to is a nice, quick, simple, fast, like not just simple and fast, but consistently small win. And so in order to achieve that, I've noticed that I have to make my stop loss higher because sometimes my entry might not be the perfect, right? So like in this example, let's say, I entered my put here, right? And the next candle, yeah, it was good, but that was bad, right? So this would have stopped me out plenty more than over 5%, right? This would have been like 15-20%. So I will do two things. I will do two things. I will say, hey, look, initially I'm going to have an initial stop loss in my mind of about 15%, right? Now, if I see a trend or a pattern that can go back in my favor and I just happen to be at a bad entry, I'm going to mentally not have a stop loss and basically say, hey, look, I'm actually going to average down here, and now my stop loss is then again 20% or 15% from where I've averaged down at. And I will average down upwards. I've been known to do it about 3-4 times. And it's if I really, really believe in the play. So like, let me give you an example. Say I entered puts here, right? And I actually did at one point. And then I realized that it was a bad decision. I flipped into calls and then made money and then flipped into puts again and made money. Okay? So anyway, say I enter my puts here and I see this happening, right? And I'm down quite a bit. Well, I know that this is a bounce zone, so instead of exiting for a loss, what I might do instead is average down. Average down here, average down here. And then on this candle here, I can exit, or this candle here I can exit. Or if I fuck up, I can average down on these two candles again because I can see that this is my bounce zone. I'm going to average down again. And then look at this. Boom, we win. So it's kind of about, do I see something? And my initial stop loss is initially always going to be about 15%. And then if I don't see something that 15% hits, I'm out. I'm just gonna take my L. I'll make it up when I make it up. But my more often than not, you'll hit like 10-ish%, something like that. You'll hit negative 10%, and then watch it turn back in your favor, and then be up 5%, like literally in a seconds, and sell. So that's why I decided not to make my stop loss the same as 5%, because that 5% could really, as a stop loss, can actually screw you over being so low. So, I do accept your appreciation. Yeah. I do a week minimum. So I rephrase. If I every once in a while I will do something like 4 days out, like super minimum 4 days out. That's the lowest I will go. But on average, like 8-9 times out of 10, the lowest I'm doing is a week. The 4 days is very rare. And then usually, like, if I'm thinking of something that might take a few weeks to do, I'll take upwards of 2 months out. And because I want a couple, like, I want at least 7 days past where I think the move is going to happen. Does that make sense? So that theta is not eating up my win. Does anyone have any questions? I see a few more people join, so I want to make sure that I answer y'all's questions before I hop out of here in a moment. Yeah, don't do those 0 days. Don't do those 0 days. No. I did a lotto 0 day on Friday, and it actually did very well for me. But I do not like them at all. Like, if I could preach something to y'all when it comes to options, it's don't get caught up in that hype. Don't get caught up in that hype when it comes to 0 days. Because yes, you can get in a 0 day and make a whole lot of money, but just as fast you could lose more. And theta is the problem. Theta is the problem there. So, do not do those 0 days. Please and thank you. You will be happier if you don't do those. Alright, y'all. I guess I'm gonna hop out of here. I'm not seeing any more questions. Cool. Alright. I'm going to end the stream now. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to type them in here. Or if you're in the Discord group, go ahead and type them in the Discord group. I'll get with you ASAP. And yeah, I will answer y'all's questions and do whatever y'all need. So y'all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye.